Welcome to Last Man In Podcast, episode Tyler Myers. Dan, what number is Tyler Myers?
57.
We did it. We did it. Oh, yeah. So what are we going to talk about on this podcast? Not much. A little bit of Jets news, some AHL news. A couple teams have... no, there's new teams in the NHL. No, there's...
What?
Yeah. What the hell? 3 new teams had their jerseys leaked. And... oh yeah, a couple signings. Let me flip the page here. A few injuries, big injuries nonetheless, and a few milestones by virtue of retirement. And apart from that, we're gonna give you a little quickie today. Little
Change up. Little bit of a change up.
Just a little bit. All right. Well, let's jump right into it here. First, we should announce it's Dan, Cam, no Stefan. He's a little busy. And we got Greg. I got to just give him a shout here. So, you know what? Let's just get Greg on that phone. Let's get Greg and see what he has to say. See how Greg's doing in Nowhereland. By Nowhereland, we all know where that is.
We know.
It's in your imagination. It's that special place.
It doesn't exist, but it does.
Yes, hello. Is it Greg there?
No.
Wrong number?
Sure. Why not?
Why not, eh?
Why not, eh?
So, Greg, what's new in life, in the world?
I started eating cucumbers again.
Again?
What do you mean again? You
You
stopped?
ate cucumbers?
Okay. For like a better part of my life, from the time I was about a toddler to 6 or 7, I used to eat cucumbers.
That's
For
a
some
pretty
reason-
short time span.
That's like 3 years tops.
So then I stopped.
What is toddlerhood? Like, what is
I think
defined
it
as
was,
toddlerhood?
I think it was a dick-shaped. I can only eat so many dick-shaped foods.
Okay,
You
get
know,
out of
man.
here, super
Okay.
bad. Shut
That-
up. Okay,
That
go
movie came out
on.
when you were like 16.
Go on. Next. What are you talking about?
I started re-eating them now with my new diet that I'm on.
Oh, shut up. Are you kidding me?
You're on the
Is
dick
this
food
why you
diet?
didn't want to tell? Greg, we had to call him back. He had some important phone call to make. And he's like, no, I'm not answering that question until it's on the podcast. Okay, what's this diet you're on?
Is it the dick food diet? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But it's not really a diet. I'm just eating more salads.
Are you eating...
On top of, like, pizza and Slurpees?
No. Well, Slurpees, yes, but
Okay.
not well. Depends how drunk I get.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
So beer's still on the table. That's
Beers
fair.
are never off the table.
That's fair. I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Okay, wait. What? Are you having dip with your salad, like dressing?
No, I don't like dressing.
You just eat, like, lettuce and
What
vegetables?
are you? Are you kidding me?
I'm eating spinach, cucumber, lettuce, green pepper, and chicken.
With nothing on it.
No sauce.
I don't think that's considered a salad.
With
You
nothing
have to have
on it?
dressing. It's called salad dressing for a reason.
Yeah. What? Okay, hold
Sounds
on.
awful.
Greg, are
I'm all
you?
for eating
Are
healthy,
you?
but-
Where are you? Have you found somewhere to live?
Yeah, I move in next week.
Oh snap! So now you're trying to get a? Do you have a George Foreman grill?
I do.
No way! Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Where'd you get it?
I'm taking my mom's extra one.
Your mom
Not
has
bad.
2 George Foreman grills.
We used to have two. I used to have two.
Who are you? I don't even have one. Slide one this way. Dang.
They're great.
I know they're great. You can wake up and grill your bacon in the morning, but if you forget, you
Fantastic.
step on it. Has anyone ever seen that Office episode?
I
Nope.
never watched The Office.
Oh, crying shame. Crying shame. All right, Greg, what do you got for you? Do you have any Jets news for us this week?
Are we actually on the air?
Yes, we're on the
We're
air.
recording.
I'm not cutting this either. This is staying.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Oh, hi, everyone, as if you didn't know already. Get out of here. All right, we're fine.
Ruthless here.
I got Jets news. This coming up weekend, the Jets are going to play in the Young Stars Classic in Penticton, BC, from September 11th to 14th. Their first game on September 11th, they play the Flames at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. On September 13th, they take on the Canucks at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And they get the best or last Mr. Connor McJesus And the Ed Money Oilers, they take them on September 14th at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Are you guys going to
Monday?
watch this?
Oh, that's a Monday. That sucks. I want to watch that game.
Are you guys going to be watching this at all? Greg, are you still there?
Hello. I think we lost him.
Greg? Greg? Did Greg... Is it my phone? Is it
He's
dying?
still connected.
I don't know. Let's check. Is this recording even recording? I think so. Yes, it is. What is going on? Greg?
Yep.
Gregory? Hey, did he put us on hold? Did he mute us?
He might have.
Well, let's keep going. Dan, are you excited for this? Are you going to watch this? Ignore the random beeps,
I might
everybody.
try, If I have time while if the Bombers aren't losing, I might
Have you
dabble.
have you heard about do you remember the first year that this happened, like the prospect camp? This was the first year we got to see like the font on the
Is
jerseys.
that the first year the Jets were back?
Yeah, it was
because they're the first one that were.
Jason Gregoire and Mark
Oh,
Scheifele were there.
God.
Remember how excited we were?
Oh,
I
we were
was,
pumped.
was
We
very
were
excited.
Super pumped. Why, I don't know. Well, I do know, because
The Jets were
the
back.
Jets are back. Greg,
Well,
What were you doing?
eating your salad?
I had another call.
Oh,
Oh,
I see.
you put us on hold.
fine.
You put the fans on hold.
I see how
You're
it is.
better than that. I see how it is. We were just talking about, you remember the Young Stars tournament the very first year? How excited everybody was? Like that, the stream like lost connection so many times because so many people were watching it.
My favorite part about that tournament was they still weren't using the Jets jerseys.
They had the NHL logo.
Just the practice jerseys.
No, they used these like practice jerseys. I remember people were buying them for the first preseason game, and they're like $250.
Did it have an NHL logo or a Jets logo?
No, it had the logo with the everything. It was just the Jets logo, but without the Jets template.
Is that
It was
what it
just
was?
a practice jersey.
I thought it was. I thought it had just like an NHL logo on it.
I just
for
remember
some reason.
I went to a game once and the guy bought the Mark Scheifele number 45 game used one.
Oh,
It must have been like $600.
Jesus.
That was very exciting. So are you going to watch it there, Greg?
I will not know. I'm back in on the weekends, and I've just got a bunch of stuff to do, so I'll be busy.
No, yeah, I mean we've already established you're better
Gotcha.
than us. I mean you put all of us on hold.
Put the Jets on hold, might as well.
Yeah, I mean hey, you don't even care at this point.
They'll still be here in an hour.
I mean you're just
a
here.
week, a month.
He's changing his life. He's eating salad without dressing. Next
When
he's
you
gonna
want to
You
cheer
gonna
for
sell
a
your
team that's
Xbox
the
next
center
or
of
what?
the universe,
say that again, Greg.
I said when you cheer for a team that's the center of hockey universe.
Oh, it's natural. It's the attitude. It's a lifestyle you live now.
Lifestyle live, yeah. I'm just better than everyone.
What are your
Once
thoughts
I
on
went to
Keno A?
Ontario, It
What-
fully consumed me.
What's your thoughts on Keno A?
What?
Keno A? Let
I
me.
don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, you're going to be eating it soon. Keno A and Kahele? I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me spell it. Kale is one, and Kinohe is Quinoa.
So kale and quinoa.
It's Kinohe and Kahele. Will you be eating those soon?
No, I'm not.
Hey,
I'm
I
not
eat them. They're not bad.
No, you're living a lie.
I've eaten them for like years.
No,
Come on.
I don't like Kinoe. It hasn't even earned the right to come.
No, you put
The proper words will not come out
you
of
put
this
it in
mouth.
kale salad with like bacon and chicken. Delicious.
Oh
Fantastic.
yeah, when you make. Greg,
Hello?
hello.
I'm there. You guys.
You keep
worry.
making like my phone to your phone keeps making really weird sounds. It's like.
I think there's a third party on the line, and I don't think it's human.
I think aliens are listening into our podcast, guys. We're multi-dimensional. No wait, is it
We're
dimensional?
intergalactic.
Intergalactical. Intergalactic planet. All right. Oh. Moose chop. What? Yeah, no, easy,
What?
easy there.
What?
Easy there, salad. Easy.
I had a Jets. It's not
Go.
really a news story. It's just something I heard on driving home today on TSN. They played it on TSN 1290, which is the local radio station in Winnipeg, but it was from TSN Montreal, whatever theirs is. Pierre Maguire was talking about. They were talking about like teams to like watch out for this year or something. And Pierre Maguire said like everyone's gonna say Chicago and like LA, but he's like, I think Winnipeg. I think if they can bust through, if they can keep breaking through, then I think they're going to steamroll some people. So my question is, what is the elusive Pierre McGuire breakthrough? Like, what is it? What do they have to do to break through for Pierre McGuire? That's my question.
Not make playoffs in wild card.
Do they
They've
have-
got to play a team that they can take.
Intangibles. Lots of intangibles.
Do they have to start winning like the big games, like the Chicago games and the St. Louis games and the?
They can't lose. They
What
can't.
does that mean?
They can't give up leads in the last few minutes of hockey games like they've been. Like they did a bit last year. The Chicago game, St. Louis game. Sometimes winning in the last 2 minutes too. They had a lot of games that went to overtime last year, and if they can get those games won in the last 10 minutes, I feel that the Jets over the last since they've been since inception, they seem to coast if they're tied or one up in the third period. They don't really go all out because they are playing for that point. And I think they need to if they really want to break that threshold, they have to go from playing for that 1 point to playing for 2. So, some nights you're going to miss that one extra point, but it's at the end of the day, it's going to equal more because they're going to be way more, persistent on getting that extra point. I think some nights they kind of just want to hold off for that 1 point, and that's why I think the loser point is stupid.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they didn't win a single game when trailing after 2 periods last year.
Very good point. They did not.
I don't think they did.
Not one?
They might have won 1.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it was bad. Like if they were trailing going to the third, done. Lights out.
So they have to learn, as Greg said, to close down games and get the win.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between playoff teams and playoff teams who excel.
Well, if you believe Pierre McGuire, he thinks they'll be.
Pierre McGuire is still, hands down, in my opinion, the best color commentator in hockey.
And he said it on Montreal radio, not on Winnipeg radio. So he wasn't sucking up.
But I think the
Interesting.
Central Division has gotten way more wide open with the whole Patrick Kane thing happening. TJ Oshie getting dealt in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as closed of a league. It's still a great division / conference, however you want to look at it. It's still a great division with really good 7 teams, but the domination of the Chicagos and the St. Louis's might not be there this year if Patrick Kane's not there, with no TJ Oshie and goalies and question marks for the Blues. It's really wide open for Minnesota to take it, for Dallas to take it. It's going to be a very interesting year from that standpoint. And even Nashville could take it, but it's all barred on how healthy Pecorine is.
We've said it, and I think you could throw every team's name in a hat. Maybe not Colorado, but you could throw the other 6 teams' name in a hat and pick one, and they could win the division, as far as I'm concerned.
But the thing with Colorado is, they lost Varlamov for a good chunk of last year.
True.
If they don't lose Varlamov and he plays the way he did in 2014, that's a way different hockey team. Plus, I don't know what the loss of Ryan O'Reilly is going to do to that team. Obviously, it's not a great thing. They also lost Briere. But some of these younger guys are really going to get a chance to shine now. I like Mikhail Grigorenko there. I think he's going to be a good addition. He played for Patrick Roy in Quebec. So maybe he's the extra addition where, Ryan O'Reilly was good, but he didn't want to play there anymore because he wasn't captain. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to see what happens in Colorado. And, maybe Connor Bleakley makes the team. Is definitely going to be a good year for them, I think. So
It's going to be
maybe
fun.
still bottom of the division, but if Varlamov plays well, they could be in the thick of things as well.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that all 7 of those teams, I'm not saying they're all going to make the playoffs because that's not possible, but they all could. I think.
I think all 7 of those teams are better than, all but maybe Anaheim in the Pacific?
That's fair.
I'd
Just
say
to
so.
even talk about this, I know we just switched over the format of playoffs and that not everyone can make it, but today the NBA actually announced that regardless of win percentage and all that, the top teams are making the playoffs 1 through 8. So it's not gonna. So they're going to what NHL used to have, where it's like literally all 7 guys all 7 teams in the Central could make it. Like in the NBA, they're gonna have it, which I personally like that better. I think the best teams should make it. All of them do, anyways. But it's just kind of unfair, I guess, that say if you're like 2 points behind say you're Colorado, you're in 7th. And you're in 7th in the division, you have 80 points. And to make playoffs, the next team has 83. But then in the Pacific, the other team in the West, like, you're ahead of everyone else but one. Well, then, yeah, sure, you're missing the playoffs. But say if, I don't know, I think the best team should make it. And I like the old playoff format better for now, obviously, because I'm still not really used to this format. But I do like how this format promotes a rivalry within the division.
Yeah, I'm with you there, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, the device you're talking on might die.
Are you serious?
My phone's all busted up, man. It's busted. So, Dan, come on. So we all have, it's right up there. This is on the fly. Doesn't matter. If we die, are we going to do last number time or call Dan? How are we going to do this?
Get that number to call me.
Get Dan to call you?
Eh?
Yeah.
But then it's long distance for him, you monster.
Fine. I'll call you.
Deal. I like calling you because I get the free long distance. But when you do eventually die, that's what's going to happen. People, we're on the fly. This is episode Tyler Myers. Hey, Greg, what's your favorite Tyler Myers memory?
Could it be a negative one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I think it was 2010. A group of high school buddies and me get together for a playoff pool every year. That year, I decided to pick the Buffalo Sabres as a team to win the Cup because I thought they were good that year. And I had Tyler Myers on my team, and I don't think he scored a single point in the playoffs. And I said that he was a piece of shit, which he really isn't. He's a good player, but I was upset with him after that moment.
Really? Huh. Well, I don't know. Oops, sorry.
What are you doing?
We're trying to shimmy the charger,
God
okay?
damn it.
We're professionals here.
This is great.
I have an idea.
The
No, it's all fixed.
The Stone Cold podcast doesn't have shit on us.
Yeah,
That's what I said. Just kidding.
we're good. We're charging. You won't
Good.
die.
I
Ladies
think
and
you're
gentlemen,
charging.
this is a podcast
How
right
do we
here.
know if it's charging?
I don't know. Lift it up.
We're professionals.
Are we?
I don't think it's charging.
It says no charging. Now it's charging.
Just so many fourth wall breaks right now.
Oh, totally.
Hey, we're professionals.
fine.
It's what you get. If you do die,
If you're still with us, I have a question for the podcast and anyone listening. Why don't you think there's any more of the big name guy trades? Like, think about this for a second. Date back, 20 years ago. All the big name guys played for multiple teams, but chances are the big names now, like of our generation of 05 on, like the Crosbys, the Stamkoses, the Tavarises, the Jonathan Taves, those guys are going to see Getzlav and Perry, for instance, as well. They're going to stay within their team, and it's just back in the day, it was something that never happened, and I'm wondering why we've had this shift now. What do you guys think?
Are you asking me and Dan and I?
It's a good
Yeah,
question.
like, the other thing that I was going to point out is if you think about it, like the best player that's been traded for in the last 10 years, you've got Joe Thornton, you have a Tyler Seguin, and Phil Kessel. What do those three players all have in common?
They're all forwards who played for the Bruins.
They're all Bruins. So Bruins seem to be the only team not scared of giving away these top end guys. Like, if you think back in the day, Ron Francis played for multiple teams. Mike Badano played for multiple teams. Joe Nieuwendyk played for multiple teams. Brett Hall, Wayne Gretzky. The list goes on and on. One of the top scorers that's still in the NHL, Jaromir Jagr, played for so many different teams. But the top scorers now, the Taves, the Tavarises, Stamkoses, you don't see them going to other teams. And I'm wondering where this change of loyalty happened, or if it's just GMs are afraid to trade guys
I think
because of value.
Do you think the salary cap?
I think the salary cap definitely has something to do with it, but I also think fear of the unknown of what might happen if they let these guys go, i.e. Tyler Seguin. Like, do you really think if the Boston Bruins had like 2020 future, or like could see into the future they would have traded Sagan, or do you think they would have bit the bullet and like maybe send David Krejci instead, or someone else? I think it's fear of the fear of missing out, and that's why they don't want to give these guys away. Like, you don't want to get rid of Perry or Getzlaf. Everyone thought one of them was going to go when their contract is coming up, and then they both signed like basically identical contracts and cap friendly contracts. Sure, they're a little steep, but now they're okay. But it's just it's good to keep with what am I trying to say? It's good to keep a good thing going, basically, is what I'm trying to say without like repeating myself too many times.
The other thing is it just easier to get rid of those mid-tier guys? Like, I'm just thinking about it because I was listening to a podcast on my way to Kenora today, and Tampa's in a real bind next year. They've got to sign a lot of guys. Like, they're going to be in a bind, right? With Tyler Johnson, Nikita Kucherov, those guys coming up for renewal, right? Did they decide to bite the bullet and sign those guys? But then they also have Stamkos, who's going to be worth 10 plus. So do they use that 10 plus on these mid-tier guys and let Stamkos go, or do they sign Stamkos? And is it just easier to absorb as a GM and as an owner? Is it easier just to absorb letting those guys go? You know, you look at Chicago; they're not happy letting guys like Saad and Ladd and Versteeg back in the day, you know, and Buffalo and those guys go. But it seems that it's a lot easier to let those guys go than the Taves and the Canes. But why is that?
They might be letting one of those guys go.
Well, but that's extenuating circumstances,
Yes,
right?
no, of course. So who's the last truly big star to get traded? I guess you could say Phil Kessel.
Phil Kessel, you could say.
But I wouldn't.
Mike Grayson and Jeff Carter were like shockers.
I wouldn't
right?
say.
Yeah, that they sucked.
I wouldn't say Tyler Seguin, because when he got traded, he wasn't the player he is now. He had the potential to be the player he is now, but I don't think he was the player he is now.
Yeah, you know what I think is the biggest shocking trade of the last 12 years? Call me biased, but the Brian Leetch trade to the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2004 made absolutely zero sense, but he was a Toronto Maple Leaf for a short time period, even though he was synonymous with New York.
Yeah. I mean, just off the top of my head, Drew McGinley, not that he,
He waited too long to get traded.
It's a big deal that he got moved. Ilya Kovalchuk at the time was a big deal.
That's a franchise player.
Because he was a star player.
Yep.
Which really turned out great for New Jersey.
It happens, but it's very rare where these things used to happen a lot. Like, it wasn't uncommon to see big trades, every year, or big free agent signings. And yeah, I think the cap has something to do with that, but I also think that GMs are now more scared than ever to lose their jobs.
And they're scared to make a move. I definitely, that's a great question. I want people to write in and see, or like write comments and anything you can. Comment, email, Twitter. We'll read them out. Because I love to hear about this. I mean, me, Greg, and Dan, we always talk about this even off the podcast. That's the reason we started the podcast, because we talk so much about it. But it is interesting to see. I mean, it's very... I never thought about like the Bruins. I guess they aren't afraid. But then again, look at sometimes the moves that they made kind of bit them in the ass and nowadays. Because now look at their team. I mean, sure, their team is still... I think they're still good enough to make playoffs, but it'll be interesting to see how they do it now.
Yeah. Well, there was probably about a year ago that article that came out that just said there's four or five trades that they made where one of the guys they gave up statistically would be their best player right now. And there was the Joe Thornton trade, the Phil Kessel trade, the Tyler Seguin trade, the Blake Wheeler trade, and there was one more, I think, or maybe that was just it.
That's still four pretty notable players.
But the main point of the article was that's four guys they've given up in the last, 10 years that could be their, their go-to guy.
In the long run, all those trades, minus Tyler Seguin, ended in a Stanley Cup. So I guess technically it's
true. We don't know yet, but you could also argue Dougie Hamilton there too.
Yeah, that's true now too.
Dougie Hamilton and Tyler Seguin might help other franchises win cups. So I mean, maybe.
Yeah. No. Totally.
Yeah. All right, Greg. Do you have anything else on the NHL?
Do I have any notes from the NHL?
No, just in general, because I have something about the AHL I wanted to briefly bring up.
There's something. You bring up your AHL, and we'll circle back to the NHL.
Sweet. I love circling back.
No.
A part of Moose Droppings, or the AHL, the Stockton Heat, farm team to the Flames, are going to play the Bakersfield Condors, farm team to the Oilers, in an outdoor game on December 18th in Sacramento, California, at a baseball stadium.
Ooh.
Raleigh Field.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
like a AAA ball club or what?
I guess so. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Hey, Greg, could you host do you think you could clear enough ice in Kenora to host an NHL game, like just a quickie?
No.
Why not?
Like the Jets versus the A-team. Just something low profile.
No.
No. Greg, have you ever?
You mean on the lake?
Yes, on the lake.
We could have a pond hockey game against the Jets.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll play dirty too. It's fine.
Oh, actually, now that we're kind of not really onto it, speaking of California, did you guys see the new Ducks thirds? Actually, the Ducks thirds, the Avalanche, and the Isles. Greg, what are your thoughts on these? I'll tweet them out from the account.
I have no issue with any of them. I'm not super happy about the Islanders. Like, I really like their blue ones that they came out with.
The black is so boring.
For Stadium Series.
Those
They
are
have
nice.
And Y with the hockey stick.
Those
Those
are
are
nice.
some of my favorite one of my favorite jerseys in the NHL.
If I was ever inclined to buy an Islanders jersey, that's the one I'd buy.
Exactly. I'd buy a Mikhail Grabowski one.
Ooh. Not a, who is it?
Cool.
Nikolai Kulemin?
No,
That's who it was.
Grabowski.
I personally, I'm not sold on the Ducks ones. I don't like the pattern that they use, how the lines aren't like symmetrical and they don't really make sense that much. I love the Avalanche jerseys.
I like them.
Oh, so nice.
Different, but I like them.
As for the Isles, yeah, I get it. They have to bite the bullet and like appease the owners of the Barclays Center and go with black and white to match the theme. I get it. I just don't like it. But maybe the gloves will be white. I'm waiting for an NHL team to
white
do
pants?
it. Ooh, yeah.
White helmets?
White pants, white skates, white gloves. Everything else black.
Nice.
They get dirty real fast.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Oh! Hey, the Sharks are celebrating their 25th year this year. Isn't that crazy? And and by doing so, they're going to have a banner raising, and their banner is going to be dedicated to the original owner, Gordon Gund. The guy who brought San Jose an NHL team.
There we go.
You know what? Crazy to think that they've only been in the league for 25 years. They've been pretty solid those 25 years. Like, at least to my knowledge.
They've been a playoff team pretty much since the beginning.
Greg, go ahead.
You know what? The Colorado Avalanche. It's their 20th year in the NHL this year. They have 2 cups in 5 less years than San Jose. Sorry to all you Sharks fans, but that's the reality.
It's true. While we're on milestones, we've got to talk about the Jets have a 5th-year anniversary patch.
Oh, that is going to be on their jersey.
That's going to be on their jerseys this year, which actually looks pretty nice.
The V, I saw that. Greg, you see that?
I did see that. It's very nice.
Pretty nice.
Let's see here. Hold on. I'm writing notes here. Sorry, guys.
Cam's got work to do later.
Oh, not even really on topic, but the Rangers named Chris Drury Director of Player Development. And I think the
I
most...
like that move, by the way.
Oh, great. I love when you keep...
I was wondering where the hell he was.
Greg,
I thought he still played in the AHL.
Greg, we have to bring in that segment we were texting about. Don't say it on there. But we have to bring that segment in of where in the world is blank. And just like maybe once a month feature a player. We have to do that.
I love Cam.
What's
you know
that?
what I really like about Cam?
What's that?
Is you're like, hey, remember that segment we were texting about? No, don't bring it up. And then you bring it up. Yeah.
That's true. You just
Hey!
You just did. You just did.
You're right. Whatever. Get out of here. Okay? And I think the most important NHL news, because Greg showed you, and I found out about it a couple days before Greg, because I saw the origin on Reddit. Flyer fans started a GoFundMe to buy the Pittsburgh Penguins for $750 million to turn them into their farm team.
hilarious.
Does anyone know any multimillionaires who can
Oh,
chip
God,
in?
that's
That would be
hilarious.
excellent. That would be top and notch.
That's hilarious.
Greg, would you ever do that for the Habs? If the Habs went up for sale?
Sure.
Greg, have you ever heard of improv? The yes and?
Yeah, I've heard yes and. I've also heard about improv.
Okay, just checking. You'd be super good at it, I think. Signings this week. David Savard. What's that, Greg?
I wanted to say something first.
You go, Greg.
Yeah. Why is it that Pittsburgh's up for sale? Are the owners just upset that
Are they
they're
actually
not
for
making
sale?
money?
Yeah, no, they're legit for sale. Flyer fans aren't crazy. I mean,
Oh.
totally crazy.
Weird.
I'm not sure
Why
where
are they
they're.
for sale?
I don't know, but if they sell them, it'd be a record sale for an NHL team.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out the logic
Maybe
as to why you're selling a team that's just got Phil Kessel, who's going to score 50 this year. And
We'll see
you've got
about
Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, you're still pulling in a ton of money. Why aren't you doing that still? You're still at the top. Everybody still wants to watch Pittsburgh play.
Greg, I believe you're in the finance district. Isn't there a saying called "sell high, buy low"?
Yes.
Maybe they're selling
So
high.
what you want to say is he'll score 30, so when he scores 50, everyone, you can be like, see? I told you.
Yeah, kind of, not really.
Not
I don't know
really.
how that
But when
has
he
to do with
scores
the
50,
franchise.
But when he scores 50, everyone will be happy.
Actually, that is a
Sure.
great question. I never really thought about why they're on sale, like why they're for sale. Maybe they just don't want to own the team anymore, like Super Mario and his gang of people.
Maybe, but like the way I look at it is, if you're going like by stock value, I guess you could say, the team's going upward this year. So at the end of this year, you could probably get more. You know, in the next 5 years, they're probably still going to be worth more now than they are, or they're going to be worth more then than they are now. So I don't understand selling now. Because really, realistically, Pittsburgh's probably going to be more relevant this year than they've been in the past. On top of that, they're going to have this new Phil Kessel guy who's going to be unbelievable.
I'm with
And
you.
they're going to get...
I've heard he's a good
And,
guy.
and, you know, Washington's good again, which is good for the league because then you can reignite the Washington-Pittsburgh rivalry. The Philadelphia-Pittsburgh rivalry is at its height right now. I think you can cash in a lot as a Penguins owner because there's still going to be more stadium series for the Penguins. Are you kidding me? They're cash cows. I don't understand why you're selling the team.
Hey, remember
Maybe
like 10 years ago when there was that rumor that Pittsburgh was going to move to Winnipeg?
Yep. Jim Balsillie.
Yep.
Really?
This was like pre-Crosby. This was like the year before they got Crosby.
I do
'Cause
not.
they were not getting fans and they were not good.
I did not know that. Why would Balsillie
They're
want
still
them
getting
here?
fans though, and they're good.
No, he wanted them in Hamilton. There was rumors of them coming to Winnipeg, but he actually sold season tickets in Hamilton without permission from Gary Bettman, and that kind of killed that whole ordeal. I believe that's what
Yeah.
happened.
So that is what it is. So yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
The more you know. Well,
Steven Stamkos today said that Connor McDavid is a real deal.
I think we all knew
That's
this.
what-
I believe he said he's better than he is.
Yeah, he is. He is
That's
Greg,
bold.
Greg, now that we're on the topic of Connor McDavid, what do you think he's going to finish with in points? I think we've talked about this, but do you think Connor McDavid's like the super real deal, or do you think he's going to ease into it, or do you think like he's guns a blazing?
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dan's. I'm gonna go with the Price is Right technique here, and say he's gonna put up 50 points. That's the safe answer. Realistically, he could probably put up 70, especially if he plays with Taylor Hall. And I think he's going to make Taylor Hall a better player as well. So he's not going to score a bunch. I think Taylor Hall is going to be a scorer on his line, but he's going to get a lot of assists. I could see him getting 40 plus assists and 20 goals. But like I said, I am shooting low and saying 50 points.
All right.
That's
Do you think Connor McDavid will be the starting line on Peter Chiarelli's Young Stars team at the World Cup? Because Peter Chiarelli got named the GM of the Young Stars team for North America today.
What?
Perfect. I had that line
Awesome.
perfectly lined up.
great answer.
Peter Chiarelli got named the GM of the North America's Young Stars team for the World Cup today. Do you think Connor McDavid will be the top line center on that team? And if so, or who is he going to play with on that team, on his line? Under 23 and under as of September.
How does Young Stars work?
23 and under as of September 17th next season, and you have to be from Canada or America.
For Canada's World Cup team.
If Chiarelli's the leader, yes, then I think it'll be McDavid. Eichel's number 2, probably. Will McKinnon be 23?
McKinnon's eligible, yeah.
So I think McKinnon will be on one line. I think he'll be on the first line with McDavid. And that's a tough one.
Do you throw in the Dro show on the opposite wing and have McKinnon, McDavid, Drouin?
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
And now, don't forget, you also have Monahan and Gaudreau, who can play on the same line.
Yeah, but McDavid wouldn't want to play with those guys
Why not?
because they're flames.
Hey, enemies come together and win countries gold medals.
They have to be
They've-
23 next year.
as of September. That team, I looked at the preview today. Sweet mama. It is insane. Even
Do you
the
think there's any hope Mark Scheifele has a spot in that
I
team?
think there's a full hope Mark Scheifele is on that team, and I fully believe Jacob Trouba is on that team. The only question,
that decor could be scary.
the decor is very
Trouba,
impressive.
Hamilton, Seth Jones. Who else they got that's young?
Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley.
Come on. There's a bunch of other ones. Ryan Murray.
Yeah.
Cody
I think,
Ceci.
what's his name? His name escapes me.
Trying to think of young defensemen.
Why can't I think of who it is?
Start naming teams. Anaheim.
No, both. All of them are too old now.
Oh.
Vatanen and Lindholm are both.
Hey. We
European.
said North America, Greg.
I know.
North
I said
America.
they're both European. That's why they're not there.
That team is going to be something. We'll get there when we
It'll
get
be
there,
fun to
but
watch.
it's going to be. I think McDavid is 100% on that team.
Oh yeah.
That team is unbelievable.
Unless he tanks this year and is a
Yeah.
complete bust.
I want to see the Young Stars against the Europe leftover team. I don't know. They're definitely not called the Europe leftovers. That'd be pretty funny if they were.
It's a little mean.
They're called the rest of Europe.
Yeah, they're called
Europe
everyone
isn't
else.
Big enough to field a team. We need as many NHLers as possible. Is this a good thing for hockey, this World Cup, considering that essentially what they're doing is they're grabbing all the good talent, all the best talent around the world and putting it together instead of the Olympics where you have some pretty terrible teams, but they have those 2 or 3 NHL players, right? This seems to be this is the best of the best. You're getting full squads of NHL guys against NHL guys. So is it going to be a little bit more competitive where you don't see kind of the top 3 teams being the best?
I think it is going to be competitive. The only problem I find with it is with the Young Stars team. Okay, some of these kids like McDavid, okay? I know they're all going to be NHLers and all this. I shouldn't worry, but it's say hypothetically a fight breaks out or something, okay?
Is it contact or is it?
Yes, it's contact. It's I don't know if these young kids are going to be ready to take on Team Canada Olympic squad. I don't think they're ready. It's going to be Team Canada Olympic squad versus maybe 1 or 2 of those kids will have a shot at
But
making
are
a
the
team.
young kids going to want to prove themselves? And that means they're going to try even harder.
Of course, but I don't know. I'm just worried about the injuries with the young guys.
fine. Trouba and Scheifele
You're
can
worried
all the
about
way on the same
safety,
team.
which I here's the thing, is I don't see anybody going out there trying to take people's heads off. I think it's going to be a showcase of skill. Like, especially in the Olympics, you don't see a ton of hits, like, ever. And I think it's going to be that style of hockey. Yes, it's on a smaller ice rink than what we saw in Sochi. However, I really do think that it's going to be more of a showcase of skill than we're going to line guys up and try to cream them, because you still got a full season ahead of you, and you don't want to do something stupid where, you know, if you think about it, some of these hits, these really bad hits, you're put in as much of a bad position trying to hit them as you are, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm lost now. You're as the guy receiving the hit.
Yeah, you're just as at risk as they are of getting hurt.
And, like, here's the thing. How much do you think a guy like Sidney Crosby, who's going to be, 29 next year, or Jonathan Taves, who's going to be 28, or, you know, you mentioned a handful of guys, right? Why are they going to put themselves in that position to get hurt? They're not. They're going to try to avoid it at all costs.
Especially, but
as they're going to, you know, let them play, but they're not, like, no one's going to be out there to make these huge open ice hits. So, yes, injuries are going to happen. They happen all the time. Look at what happened to John Tavares at the Olympics in Sochi. It happens, but it is what it is. So,
correct me if I'm wrong. The tournament's in September, right?
I think this is why some of the owners are upset about it. But, you know, I think if the World Cup goes well, there's no reason why the NHL doesn't go to South Korea. So
you have to keep in mind too, though, it's going to be 2 weeks before training camp starts. So are the guys going to be going all out trying to hit each other? Probably not. This is going to be right before the season starts. So, you know, do they want to go all?
It's going to overlap,
it's going to be
won't it?
also a good season warm up.
Does a young Jacob Trouba want to risk taking a run at someone and possibly hurt himself and, you know, be done for the year? You know, I mean, I'm just throwing names out there, but, you know, so.
The other question that I have is, does a guy like Austin Matthews make the team?
Oh, mama. I know.
Because when you think about it,
Is he eligible if he's never played in the NHL?
Yep.
oh, completely eligible. Nikolai Ehlers would be. Oh no, he's not. He's not North American. But if he was North American,
He could be
eligible.
Europe leftover.
Yeah, but he could be the leftover team.
With a meaner.
He will be. He'll be on the leftover team. But I think I don't see why Austin Matthews wouldn't be there. He would have played a year with men already, so he would have gotten used to the game. So I think this is more beneficial than anything else.
I don't think he makes the team, because if you're making the team, you're taking the best of what you have at American under 23. He might get an invite to the team. I do not think he makes the team. I don't. There's too many guys. Like, if you look at the roster, I know we're drawing blanks right now with, like, guys who are really good, but there's too many guys out there that have already or would have already played like 3 or 4 seasons in the NHL at this point, like Nathan McKinnon example, where you're going to take those guys over Austin Matthews, who sure, he played 1 season against Swiss, but you got to take best available. You know what? Maybe he proves himself and he is going to be there. But me personally, I don't think he's on the team, because I think I take best available, and he isn't best available to me.
You know what? Why don't I pull up the mock Young Stars team?
Okay, you do it.
World Cup. Yeah. Just let me do this.
Wait, Greg, did you want to hold on to that till next week? Because we're running pretty short on time.
I want to do it right now.
You want to do it right now? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to do talk real fast.
Yeah, I'm already there.
Go.
Speed read.
Don't worry. If this internet will continue to go fast. Okay, this is from Sportsnet, so it's probably not going to be that good. Okay, so projected: Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Jonathan Drouin, Brandon Saad, Jack Eichel, Max Domi, Ryan Strome, Alex Galchenyuk. What? Oh yeah, because he's American.
I know.
Monahan, Mark Scheifele, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Boone Jenner, Sean Couturier, Johnny Gaudreau. Defense: Ekblad, Damon Severson.
Oh, New Jersey. Jurassic Park.
Matthew Dumba, Cody Shishi, Seth Jones, Jacob Trouba, Morgan Riley, Dougie Hamilton, Ryan Murray, John Gibson, Malcolm Subban, Calvin Pickard as goalies. On the bubble for defensemen, Noah Hannafin, Griffin Reinhart, Nathan Beaulieu, Darnell Nurse, Jamie Alexiak. On the bubble for goaltenders, Zachary Fucali, Eric Comrie, J.F. Berube, Thatcher Demko, Connor Hellebuck. And on the bubble for forwards, Jonathan Huberdeau, Bo Horvat, Lyndon Vick, Curtis Lazar, Matthew Nieto, Sam Reinhart, Anthony Duclair. The only guy that I think could be on this list as well that's not there currently is Morrissey if he makes the team next year for defense. Because I don't know.
Hold on. Greg? One of you got here. I'll get Dan to do it. Unless you know. What side does Morrissey shoot? Because out of those defensemen that you named on the team, like not the notable snubs, I think 6 out of 8 of them shoot right.
Well, isn't Morrissey left-handed?
If Morrissey's left, that only helps his cause.
I don't know. I couldn't.
I'm not sure. Here, Dan will do a quick search here.
No, I got it right now.
Okay. Because if he's left-handed, I think I put him in notables. Because there's a lot of righties on that team.
Yeah, he shoots left.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, because here, go down the D list. I know most of them anyways. Dougie?
Okay. Aaron Ekblad shoots right.
He's right, yeah.
Damon Severson
Right.
shoots right.
Yeah.
Matt Dumba shoots right. Cody Shishi, left, maybe?
I think he's
Seth Jones is a right-hander too, right?
definitely a right-hander. Trouba's right-handed.
Morgan Riley left-handed. Dougie Hamilton right-handed. Ryan Murray right-handed, I believe, as well.
Wow, that's 7. That's 7 to 2.
You gotta realize this is a Sportsnet list, so it's made by some guy that probably doesn't understand how hockey works.
Well, no,
Yeah,
he was.
some of those pairings and line combinations are a little.
But hold on, he was just told, or no, whoever wrote the article, even if it was a collection of people, it's best available. You don't think, sure, sometimes you do think about that, but best available. So he just wrote down the top players at that age and his constrictions.
I don't
Totally.
if you think about the common theme between all the defensemen is they're 20 and above, minus Aaron Ekblad's the youngest at 20, then you have Seth Jones at 21. So there's that common kind of age gap where it's 23 or 22 for defensemen. Because why wouldn't you take a guy that's 23 versus taking a guy that's 18, 19, right? So the question now becomes: would Josh Morrissey be good enough at 20? Is he comparable to Aaron Ekblad at 20? Because Aaron Ekblad is the only exception to that rule on the defense, where you're not 22 or 23. Seth Jones is 21, but
I think that depends if Morrissey makes the team this year or not.
And his impact that he has on the team as well. Because you got to think of every one of these guys that Greg named, notable players in their own decor.
Because A, he's going to have to make the team, and B, he's going to have to not outshine Jacob Trouba, but at least be on par or pretty close to how Jacob Trouba plays. And that might be tough for him.
He has to be the third best defenseman on that team.
On the Jets?
And he has to, whoever he's paired with, because if you think about it, what everyone likes about Jacob Trouba is he makes Mark Stewart a better player. If Josh Morrissey goes and comes into camp and plays with a guy like Paul Postma and makes Paul Postma a better player, then I don't see how you don't put Morrissey on the team. I think it's not only individual skill, but it also has to look at how well do you make the other players on your team.
And everyone
better by you being there, or are you a little bit? You're still good. You're good enough to be here, but are other players going to impact more because of chemistry or because they're known to the team, right? So
just theoretically, if he has to be the third defenseman, then who are 1 and 2?
Well, Trouba's 1, and then it does.
Say Tyler Myers is 2, or say Toby Enstrom is 2?
No, we're not saying who. He's just.
No, but I'm asking who do you think?
Tyler Myers. I'm going to say Trouba, Tyler Myers, Morrissey.
But just hypothetically,
we're assuming Buff's gone though.
No, not even.
If Morrissey makes the team though, I don't see a situation in which Dustin Buffalo is on that team.
The whole year.
I don't think there's room for Morrissey with Buffalo.
It's either Buffalo or Enstrom's gone if Morrissey makes that team. That's the argument, right? So here's the thing: is if you have either way, you're going to have Trouba and Myers most likely playing on your first unit or your second unit, and then you got to decide: well, do you want to put Morrissey with Trouba, or do you want to put Trouba with Stewart and put Morrissey with Myers. I think Morrissey would gain a lot of experience playing with a guy like Myers who's been around the league. And I think it would only benefit him because they both complement each other's games. Myers can kind of focus on being a little gritty in the corners. Morrissey can focus more on that first pass. Like, I don't see a team, as Dan says with Buffalo, I don't see a team where more.
Greg.
What happened to him?
My phone died.
It went really quiet. Is it not charging?
I thought it was charging. Oh, he was on such a good roll. No. I wish.
Sorry, people.
I'm so sorry. This is rough one. This is Gong
tough.
Show.
Maybe we should just
Well, here,
cut our
let's
losses
maybe
and,
Greg will be calling you. We'll let him finish his thought, and we'll wrap her up here. In the meantime, there we go. Oh, your house phone.
I don't have it on me.
Is it around the corner? Go grab it. Well, here, let me entertain you with the sweet stylings of my voice. I'm going to describe what's around me. Yellow walls. The roof. Drop ceiling.
He's back.
Winnipeg Jets Hockey Club.
He's back.
Picture.
This is great.
Is it on... Greg? Greg?
Did you not pick up?
Oh, is it on speaker?
Should be.
Greg? Gregory?
Okay, well...
Guys, this is rough.
We're sorry.
You know what? Here. Greg, do you know a joke? Or Dan, do you know a joke?
I did, but that doesn't apply anymore.
Dang it.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
One
who?
1 and 9.
Saskatchewan
It was
Rough
going to be the
Riders.
Owen joke, but...
Owen joke.
Who's there? Owen. Owen who? 0 and 9, but now they're 1 and 9, so...
And we're talking about Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They're playing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this weekend. Man, we have put so much effort into this show today.
Great.
When you left, I was describing the room. I was like, let's describe what's around me. Yellow wall and drop ceiling. Well, you know what? In the meantime, I do have a few things to note. Gregory, finish your thought. Let's wrap it up.
Where did I get to again?
You were talking about Josh Morrissey and Tyler Myers.
Oh, I was just saying I don't see a team where Morrissey and Edstrom are on the same team. Just because they're the same skill set and Morrissey's ceiling is higher. They're both there for the first pass. They're both there for that power play kind of setup, quarterback position. I don't know why they would keep Edstrom around. Morrissey comes at about $5 million cheaper, and you get a guy that's good. It's just about who's going to take Edstrom.
You have to keep in mind, too...
That issue is. I think if Edstrom wasn't on the team, Morrissey makes the team 100%.
You have to keep in mind, though, when it comes to forwards, there's a spot for Nick Leathers, there's a spot for Nick Patan. When it comes to D, there's no spots.
And that's why...
So he's going to have to earn a spot and kick someone out of that D core to make the team, because there's no spots for him right now. We have Myers, Bufflin, Enstrom, Trouba, Stewart, Party, Harrison, Postma, Klitzum, maybe. That's 9 defensemen.
So that's why I... Oh, sorry, Greg, you go.
So,
Mark Stewart, what happens, let's say, if he just kind of sucks coming out, isn't strong out of camp, we'll say. Is there a possibility where we see Mark Stewart start the season on the bench? Here's the thing. Morrissey is playing for the Moose this year. So regardless, he's playing professional hockey. He's going to be playing against men. I think he's the first call up if Edstrom goes down or if Stewart goes down or if anybody goes down and he has a chance to get in there, I think they're slotting him in. So
I would agree.
Because he gains the experience, it's okay to start his contract now. It's going to be an interesting kind of start to the year. Well, I'll just leave it at that.
Excellent. All right, Greg, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap or while we wrap things up?
Just the usual. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for dealing with our fourth wall breaks today.
Oh man, there was 3 or 4 of them today. It was rough.
Fine, if you like reading Deadpool comics, you'll love our podcast.
Interesting day to say the least. So, oh well, but still, nonetheless, thank you guys all for listening. please, share us, tell your friends about us, because eventually, we wouldn't mind getting a sponsorship. Why wouldn't we mind getting a sponsorship? So Cam could buy a phone that doesn't die midway through a phone call.
I blame Apple and Steve Jobs and anyone regarding Apple. I regret.
Steve Jobs is dead, you sick son of a bitch.
I didn't mean it like that. Fun fact, did you know Bill Gates actually invested $150 million into Apple in the 90s because Microsoft was blowing away all their competition and they were killing the companies that they were blowing away. So Apple was the nearest competitor and they were going bankrupt. So he donated $150 million, and with that, they used it as a startup to make iMacs. And iMacs is actually Macintosh, and the I is short for internet, because within 10 minutes of you buying an iMac, you can be on the internet. And that was the advertising slogan.
So everyone think about that for next week.
Yep.
Was the iPhone the first phone that could go on the internet?
No, I don't think so. But they just kept with the I, like the iPod. They kept with the I. But now this phone's dying, Greg. We gotta go.
Okay. Have a good week, guys.
All right, you
See you
too.
on Thursday.
And you can send us an email, lastminutepc@gmail.com. Tweet us at lastminutepc. And comment. Actually, we're reading everyone's comments, so that's great. I know there were comments, but we'll get to them next week, I promise. All right, see you later, guys. Have a good one.